Let's go, let's go. It's time. It's time.
Many of us make choices based on our past experiences or based on what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join the Inspired Choices show with business optimization expert Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know, but may not choose, that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back. She brings all her expertise to every show. Are you ready to create and live the life you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with business optimization expert Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine at inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome, everyone. I am so happy for tonight's show because I got a lot to say about it. And I'm glad that you are here. And if you're listening in the replay, please put hashtag replay. And thank you so much for pressing the play button. So tonight, we're going to be talking about put your money where your mouth is. It's an interesting saying, and it is definitely one that it's time for it to be discussed. So I am your host, Christine McIver, and tonight on the Inspired Choices show on the Inspired Choices Network, we're going to be talking a lot about choices, which we always do. We're going to be talking about money, and we're going to be talking about you as a business owner. So if you're someone who's in their own business or you're thinking about being in your own business, do lean in. I've got a lot to share with you tonight that might actually open up some new possibilities for you. So if this is your first time, I want to tell you a little bit about who I am. I am a business optimization expert. So I've been in my own business now for more than 15 years. I've helped hundreds of entrepreneurs around the world step into creating their business, expanding their business, really looking at what they're doing and how they can leverage that with their business. There's so many aspects to business, and what I do is I really look at everything from a macro view on what you're creating, and then I really zoom in and look at the little details so that we can really make things easy and fun and a real pleasure for you while you grow your business and you work inside of your business. So if you are interested in having the kind of support that really walks with you and shows you the bigger picture, do contact me, Christine, at inspiredchoices.ca. I'm also the CEO of the Inspired Choices Network, Inspired Choices Summits, and ICN Publishing. We have got a lot of different opportunities here for individuals who are looking to bring their voice to the world in all sorts of different aspects and needing support where they would like to know how to do things, but not always do them themselves. So we've got a lot to offer. If you've got a voice, if you've got a message, if you've got something on your heart you would like to have more visibility on and have more ease and play with your business, please reach out. Again, Christine at inspiredchoices.ca. And one last thing before we jump in, coming up on May the 9th, 2024, we have a summit coming up that is so near and dear to my heart. It's called Sparks of Hope, Shooting for Success. And we've brought together 21 dynamic speakers, all different types of categories, who are bringing their expertise to the floor. They are going to be bringing such amazing information during their talks. And then collectively, they are gifting an amazing offer to every single participant, the totality of which is over $27,000. And these are not things that, they just have there and they give all the time. These are amazing creations. Each of them have put together just for this particular summit. It is an adventure that is going to be second to none. You definitely want to connect. It's one price for everything. There's going to be no trying to sell you during the event. There's not going to be any pushing at all. You say yes, you join the fun, and you start to receive and receive and receive. It's going to be so dynamic. And for those of you, whether you need a little hope or you need a bit of hope or you need a lot of hope, this is what we call the Hope Crew. We are the Hope Crew, and we are hope dealers, and we are here to really make a big difference in the world. So do join me May the 9th. You can go to ICN Summits/Sparks of Hope, and I hope to see you there. I say that word hope a lot, and I really notice it now, which is very cool. All right, let's get into the show. We're talking about put your money where your mouth is. Well, it's interesting because this show it's got so many variables to it. It's quite amazing. So what people will give up and what they won't in the face of their commitments is quite amazing. If you're finding it hard to stay committed to your dreams and your desires, maybe it's time to put your money on the line. When we speak about putting our money where our mouth is, it means we are ready to take some action in order to make it happen. So, put your money where your mouth is does not necessarily involve money. It is a saying. I forget what year that saying came out, but part of the saying is, then show me. Step up. Show the world. Show yourself. How many of us and how many of you are out here? You're working your business, you're wanting to work your business, you're wanting to do whatever it is that you want to do in the world and whatever you're bringing to the world from your business aspect. And you're saying, I wish I had this. I wish I had that. I wish my business was bringing in more money. I wish, more people knew about what I was doing. I wish this, and this is what my dream is. There's a lot of talk, and very few people taking concentrated commitment action. How many of you have these desires and you keep buying the lies that you keep telling yourself? How many of you are telling yourself the lie of, I don't have enough time? That is one of the biggest lies circulating on the planet. You have just as much time as any other individual. If you are looking at other people saying, how come they're so successful? How come I don't have that? Right? You've got to look at and pay attention to what you are telling yourself. What excuses are you using to hold yourself back from your desires? I'm not as smart as someone else. Bullshit. You have the greatest opportunity in the world today than there has ever been in the world, because we have the internet and there is information everywhere. You do not have to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars. You certainly can if that's what you desire, if whatever it is requires that kind of money, but you don't have to. How many of you are telling the lie that you're too tired, that you're too busy, that it's just not possible for me? Oh, there's an individual, I won't name this individual, but when I connect with this individual, repeatedly they are saying, because they're having some challenges with technology and they keep saying, I'm terrible at tech. I'm terrible at tech. And I'm saying to them, stop saying that. You're believing that. You are buying it and selling it to yourself again and again. So when I say, put your money where your mouth is, what I'm talking about is investing. Investing in you, investing in your dreams, investing in what it is that is required to make something happen. If you want to be excellent at technology, then the very first thing you need to change is how you're viewing technology and the bullshit that you're buying about your age, the lie you're buying about how much time it takes, the excuses that you're putting in place so you don't actually have to be committed. Now, I'll tell you something. Most recently, I invested in a course. There were some things that I wanted to learn. And, it's something that I strongly encourage every business owner to be constantly investing in themselves and in their business. If you want to continue to grow, you have to invest. You have to continue to grow yourself so you can grow your business. So recently I had invested in a course, as I said, and it was about $5,000. And it was very, very interesting. I won't name who I took the course from or who the individual was, but it was quite interesting because as I began to take the course, I started to get quite annoyed because what this person was actually bringing to the table and what they were saying and what they were teaching, I would say there was maybe out of the entirety of the course, there was maybe 10 to 15% of content that I did not know or I didn't have the exact details of, which meant that 75 to 85% of the course, I already had the knowledge. I started to get annoyed with myself. And I started to look at, okay, what was it about this that had me say yes? Because every bell was ringing. When you're making a decision and you're looking at, okay, I'm going to choose this, I'm going to choose this. When you're really looking at these pieces, every single bell was ringing to say yes to this course, every single solitary bell. And so I really had to take some deep inventory on why. Why was this a yes for me? And hence this show came from that. So we are up to our first commercial break. Don't go anywhere. When we get back, I'm going to tell you what it was that I discovered and what I learned about myself that really led me into diving deeper into this very conversation about put your money where your mouth is. You're listening to Inspired Choices. I'm your host, Christine McIver, on the Inspired Choices Network. Do stick around. I got lots more I want to share with you. We'll be right back.
Many of us make choices based on our past experiences or based on what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join the Inspired Choices show with business optimization expert Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know, but may not choose, that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back. She brings all her expertise to every show. Are you ready to create and live the life you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with business optimization expert Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine at inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. Yes, I am Christine McIver. I am the host of the Inspired Choices Show. And tonight we're talking about put your money where your mouth is. So as I was saying before we went to break, I had signed up for this course. And at the conclusion of the course, I had realized that there was only maybe 10 to 15% of new knowledge for me, which had me really question, why was it such a huge yes? Why was it such a big yes? And the big part of it was that it was going to be the money investment that I made was going to hold me accountable to follow through on what I was going to be stepping into creating because of this knowledge. So as I said, I had a great deal of the knowledge and I wasn't following through. I wasn't following through. Although I felt like, oh, there must be something that I'm missing. I must need more information. And so this financial investment had me really question all of it. But what it's also done is it's holding me accountable. It's holding me accountable to finally follow through. Because God forbid I've invested all that money and I don't do anything with it, right? How many of us are out here talking a big game, but not following through, not actually doing what's required and using all the excuses in the world? But when we put money on the table, when we make our, say what we're going to do and then invest money, that's the catalyst that we actually require. It's kind of a kick in the ass that requires us to step up. Like, put your money where your mouth is. Like, if you say you're going to do it, then do it. Stop with the excuses. Now, I want to talk about the word excuses. The original definition of the word excuses is from the late 1400s, and it's a pretext or a justification, an excuse, an apology. It is that which serves as a reason for being excused. How many of you need to give yourself a reason to excuse yourself from not following through on your own dreams? How many of you? How many of you are looking for excuses so you don't actually have to grow up? You don't actually have to get uncomfortable and step into something new. You don't actually have to make those phone calls. You don't actually have to communicate with prospective clients. You don't have to do what it is that's required in order to succeed at your business. You're using an excuse, and you feel like your excuse is a get out of jail free card, right? Guess what? Your business and your dreams are not jail. They are the things that are on your heart. If you would get out of your own damn way and stop with the bullshit excuses, you might be on to new dreams. You might have already succeeded at the dreams that you've been dreaming about. We have got to stop playing small with ourselves and our own dreams. If you have a child and they have a dream, you will remind them of that dream. You will encourage them. You will support them going forward with their dreams. You will do what it takes. If it's not their dream, though, they're not going to succeed. But if we will do that for other people, why? Why will we not do it for ourselves? Why do we find it so easy to give up on our dreams and to make excuses? Because one of the biggest reasons is because we have to grow. If you don't already have your dream, it's because there's something about you that has to change. There is something about you, the actions that you take, the knowledge that you have. There is something about you that has to grow up, step up, become more. But we keep buying into these lies again and again and again because God forbid we should get uncomfortable. God forbid that we should stretch ourselves. God forbid that we should learn something new in order for us to really lean in and create something greater than we have today. That's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. What is it actually going to take for you to have your own back for your dreams? What is it going to take? Well, the title of the show is it going to take you putting money on the table before you will actually step up? Is money more important than your dreams? Is that why you keep using excuses? Is that why? It's kind of like, imagine you have a rickety old car, and this rickety old car keeps breaking down, and you keep saying, oh, I want a new car. I want a new car. I really want a new car. And one day this rickety old car just goes kaput, right? Well, now instead of investing money in an old rickety car, now you have to get something new. Now it may be new to you, it may not be brand new, but you still have to reach in and stop buying the lies and excuses and put money on the table and get a new car. And then you get in that new car, and what do we say? Why did I wait so long? Why did I wait so long? Right? I have heard people use that same analogy. Why did I wait so long? Because we wait until we get right to the edge of no more choice and we finally step up. I know people that talked about having a podcast for years and years and years. And when they started to work with us and they really stepped in, they stopped buying the excuse that they couldn't do it or they wouldn't have enough to say or they'd be so nervous. They stopped that because they challenged themselves to get greater and greater. And now, years later, they've had a podcast for so many years. One of our hosts, in fact, Milica Jelenic, when I first approached her about having her own show, she was positive she would never have anything to say past the first show. She is now coming up on 9 years of weekly shows because she held herself accountable to keep showing up and keep putting money on the table to show up. She challenged herself, right? When you put money down, you then lean in. And that's great that money has that power over you. But how about your dreams having more energy and more importance than you buying the bullshit that you have to put money down first? Money down first. Aren't you and your dreams important enough for you to step up, for you to stop with the lies and the excuses? Imagine your world if you gave up your excuses, if you didn't worry about the how, but you just kept leaning forward into the what. It's so absolutely magical when we stop paying attention to the hows, when we stop trying to figure out exactly how it's going to go before we actually step into it. It's magical because what you learn is you're learning along the way. There's so many times that I have said yes, and I had no idea, zero understanding of what was going to be required of me. But I knew somewhere inside of me, I was going to step up into it. I was going to do it. I can't really think of a time when I said yes and I completely flopped and fell on my face. Have there been times that I needed to regroup and do it a new way? Absolutely. Has there been challenges? Oh my gosh, I can tell you a billion challenges I've had along the way. But guess what? I'm here now. 15 years later, being in my own business, having an international company with 5 divisions. Did I think of that when I opened up my business 15 years ago? No. I thought I was going to be a personal coach. That's what I thought I was going to be. Well, I still do that and a lot more. But the fact of the matter is I kept saying yes. I kept saying yes to my dreams, even when I didn't know what was going to happen. I knew, I knew I would be supported along the way. And I knew that if I kept that dream in front of me each and every time, I would figure it out. If I didn't know how to do it, I could put up my hand and I would ask others. That's another thing, that if you have to invest in something else, like having a coach, you will step up. That is one of the best reasons and most important reasons to have a coach, is because you're going to be held accountable by your coach, but you're also going to step in and be committed, more committed to yourself than you've ever been before, because now you've had to pay for something. Now you've got to communicate and be straight up and honest, and you've got to really take down the walls and share with somebody what's truly going on. And it's so fascinating to me, the excuses we keep showing up with. What I have found with clients in the past is they might be using the excuse of no time or no money, or, that they don't have this skill. They might be using all these excuses. But when we step in and we begin to work together and they really do show me exactly what's happening, most times it has nothing to do with those excuses. Those are like surface excuses that they're holding in front of themselves. That's acceptable excuses, when what's really going on is something deeper, maybe some trauma, some wounds, some lies that they have been buying and selling to themselves for years and years and years. That is absolutely not true. If you are in your own business and you do not have a business coach, you're robbing yourself of opportunities you cannot even imagine. One of the absolute most exciting things for me as a business coach is when I'm working with a client and I'm showing them where the gaps are and how quickly and easily we can begin to change it, and how that changes their self-confidence, how that starts to elevate them to lean in and really show up for themselves and have their businesses back. It's fantastic. They're so excited. The changes that I see in people, that, lots of times people walk away from their business because they're too afraid to be vulnerable. If you're not willing to be vulnerable with yourself, and you're not willing to be vulnerable with at least a coach that you can trust, you are going to keep buying the lie over and over and over again and hold yourself back from your dreams. Every single solitary person that is successful in the world has had to pay a price, right? They've put their money where their mouth is, right? Whether it's actually putting down financial abundance, or it's working longer hours. I will say to people, people are oftentimes, well, I work a full-time job. How am I ever going to get started? And I'll be like, well, you're going to do it on the weekends. You're going to work Saturday and Sunday, and you're going to work nights. If you really want that, that's what you're going to do. There are hundreds of thousands of millions of people out here that have a full-time gig, and they're building their dream in the evenings and the weekends. That's how most people do it. And that's how you're going to need to do it if you're really committed to your dreams. So you've got to ask yourself the question, how committed am I to these dreams that I keep talking about? If you don't come up with at least 75%, then I think you should just give that dream up and walk away. I say, you know what, forget it. Don't even bother. Like, you should just go back to living a comfortable life. How many of you have I just ticked off like crazy and you're telling me, forget you, I'm going to do this? Well, I hope most of you are like, oh my God, I can't believe she just said that. Yeah. Well, sometimes we have to have our dream taken away from us before we will actually step up into it. Stop playing small. Stop buying your lies and your excuses, and start investing. Start putting money on the table. Start really, really saying, okay, this is what I'm willing to do, and I'm going to follow through. And one of the best investments, I'm not kidding, is to hire a business coach. I am a great business coach because what I do with my clients is I look at everything that's going on in their business, and then I talk and I coach them as we're working in their business, because you're not separate from your business. I hold you accountable. I inspire you. I'm your cheerleader, but I don't take your bull, and I can see right through your bull, and I'll call it. I will call it very, very quickly, because it's not doing you any favors. I would love to offer, I've got 3 positions available for business coaching in the month of May that I can take 3 new clients. And if you're interested, you better email me very, very quickly, because those spots fill up quite quickly. So email me, Christine at inspiredchoices.ca. Let's have a conversation about really up-leveling you so you can stop buying the lies and you can really lean into those dreams. Okay, we are up to our next break of the show. When we get back, we're going to keep talking about the excuses and about putting money where your mouth is. You're listening to Inspired Choices. I'm your host, Christine McIver, and we are on the Inspired Choices Network. We'll be right back.
Many of us make choices based on our past experiences or based on what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join the Inspired Choices show with business optimization expert Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know, but may not choose, that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back. She brings all her expertise to every show. Are you ready to create and live the life you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with business optimization expert Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine at InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for being here tonight. We are talking about put your money where your mouth is. And this is all about following through with yourself and following through with your dreams. If you're out here and you're talking about this is what I'm going to do one day, this is what I'm going to do one day, and you just are talking, you're just a talking head. You actually don't have your own back. And as I've been speaking about, you really do have to commit. You have to commit to yourself. Here's the thing, is that our mind is created in a way to protect us. And when you have a dream, a pretty big dream for yourself, and you start to think about what you want to do and what maybe will be required, your brain is going to start giving you excuses and reasons not to do that. You're programmed. We have all been programmed to be safe, to protect ourselves. We say to each other all the time, be safe, take care of yourself, protect yourself. We say these things in a way that puts us on guard immediately. I'm traveling tomorrow, and one of my people that I was speaking to today said, have a safe drive. And you know what? For years now, I have tried diligently not to say that, because that implies that there are things that I need to be worried about. And as our host, Karen Leslie, will talk to you about, and she did a great show a few weeks ago about worry. Worry is actually robbing you. And saying things like this and buying into the worry of things or buying into what's not safe actually has you retreat, has you buy into this as a lie. What I actually say to people when they're traveling is have a wonderful trip. Have a wonderful trip. Enjoy your drive. I love driving. It's one of my most favorite things to do, especially if I need to clear my head. I get behind the wheel of my beautiful car, Miss Sassy, that's her name, and she's a beautiful black Mazda 6 GT. I absolutely love this car. And I get in her and I start to drive, and my whole body relaxes. Driving for me is one of the best things to really center me again. And when I am going on my trip, I'm excited about my drive. I'm excited about the things that I'm going to see, the adventures I'm going to have along the way. I'm not driving with worry energy. I'm driving with enjoyment energy. Therefore, I'm relaxed. And when I'm relaxed, I can very easily see what's going on around me, not be frightening myself again and again. That's just one little example around the words that we use and how it impacts us. So our minds are created to keep us safe. Our minds are continuously on the lookout for what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong, the possibilities of things that can go wrong. So when our mind is in that space, we are continuously receiving excuses and reasons not to do something. If you are uncomfortable, right? Your mind is going to give you more and more reasons not to do something because you are uncomfortable. Well, how do you grow? If you're not willing to get uncomfortable, if you're not willing to stretch yourself, how are you going to grow? Well, here we go again. When we buy into that things are too uncomfortable, sometimes the only way we will be committed to ourselves is by paying money, is by putting money on the line. And again, we give more value to money than we give to ourselves and our own dreams. What are you valuing? What is so important to you that if it was your end of your life, you could say with pride, I followed through on that. You know what? That was big work for me. That really stretched me. It really had me grow. I was so uncomfortable doing that, but my gosh, I did it. Last week, let me give you an example, something else. And it's just a fun little thing. But last week, was it last week or 2 weeks ago? My friend and I, we get together, and for the last year, I keep saying we've got to do something new and adventurous. So we've been doing some different adventurous things, not just going and doing different things, not always really crazy adventures. I've skydived before, I've parasailed, I've done lots of different things, and I've enjoyed them, and I'm really happy that I've done them. Well, 2 weeks ago, she finally agreed that we would go roller skating. So as a young teen, I went roller skating all of the time. I loved roller skating. I roller skated in a rollathon for 24 hours. I really loved roller skating. So 2 weeks ago, my friend and I, my friend Sharon and I, if she's listening, hey Sharon, we went roller skating. And, you know, it's been, I'm going to tell you, many years since I went roller skating. I was so excited to go. I was so excited to go. And we got out there, and oh my gosh, my body just, it's like it seized immediately. It was so nervous. And I was so shocked. I kept saying to Sharon, I can't believe how nervous I am. I can't believe like my body is doing this. This is wild. Well, we kept at it, and we kept at it. Now, she's a skier, so she was able to get into the groove of roller skating a little bit easier than I was. But you know what? I kept at it. And although, there was different parts of my legs and my feet that were sore from doing it, I kept doing it, and I didn't stop. I didn't stop. I took breaks, but I didn't stop. I didn't give up because it's something that I had a dream of. Now, if I'd have told a lot of people before I went roller skating you know what their reaction would have been. Oh my God, don't fall. You're going to break your hip, and all this nonsense that people put out there. Right. And I'm like, I'm not telling people. I'm telling people that I know that would be, excited for me or cheer me on. I didn't tell a whole lot of people. I went, I had fun. Yeah, it was painful, but my body got back into it, and I'm going to go again. I'm going to go again. I don't buy the lies that something's too uncomfortable. If I desire it, I'm going to try it. If I desire it, I'm going to lean in and do it to the best of my ability. If there is a desire on your heart and you don't do everything you can to fulfill that desire, you are the person who is going to be disappointed. No one else. No one else. You're going to be more disappointed in yourself than you are in anyone else. This is so important that we understand that putting our money where our mouth is, following through on our commitments to ourselves, saying yes to our dreams, and leaning into that is one of the ways that we grow ourselves, but that we show other people around us how they can too grow themselves, how they can make a difference in the world. How are we ever going to change the world if we're not willing to change ourselves within our own businesses, within our own lives? We are not. You came here for a reason. And these desires are not haphazard desires. These desires on your heart are part of your makeup to contribute to the world and to change the world. Your desires are one of the small keys in the kingdom to really make a major difference in the world around us. As a business owner, as someone who is offering services or products to the world around you, when you have a desire, please know that there's someone out here looking for you. Please know that there's an energy that is pulling that out of you. And that part of that energy is those that are looking for what it is, the magic of you and your uniqueness in your creations, in your services, and or your products. You are the match for someone else's desires. You are the gift that can contribute to others. Now, as my mom always said, we may never know what actually occurs for someone else. That's not our business. Our business is showing up. Our business is being committed to ourselves, and stop buying the bullshit lies that we keep feeding ourselves over and over and over again. If you want more, be willing to be more. If you desire more, be willing to invest money, invest time, invest energy, invest positive thoughts, invest in working with a coach, invest in yourself, invest in your business, invest in stretching yourself in a way that you have never stretched yourself before. Because if you're going to be something different, you have to choose something different. And if you don't choose something different, you're the only one that goes to bed with those bullshit excuses every single night. You can change these things. You absolutely can change them. And it's easier than you think and easier than you'll ever know. So we're going to go to break. Before we do, if you are enjoying this show, please go over to Apple TV, iTunes, and give the show a 5-star review. I would be very grateful. And this will assist in getting the information out to those who are looking for it and to those who need it. If you have a question, if you have a desire on your heart and you don't know where to start first, send me a message. You can email me, Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. I love getting your questions. Or you can send me a DM. I'm on all of the platforms, and I would be happy to answer your questions. I answer them all personally. There's no bots. I don't have a team member answer my messages. I answer them personally. Really supporting others in their business and getting out of the bullshit in their head is one of the things that makes me incredibly happy. So stick around, my friends. We'll be back right after this commercial break. You're listening to Christine McIver on the Inspired Choices show on the Inspired Choices Network. We'll be right back.
Many of us make choices based on our past experiences or based on what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join the Inspired Choices show with business optimization expert Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know, but may not choose, that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back. She brings all her expertise to every show. Are you ready to create and live the life you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with business optimization expert Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine at inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Yes, back to the program. Let's wrap tonight up with just a few more nuggets about putting your money where your mouth is. If you invest in something, if you pay $5 for something, how important is that to you? How valuable is that to you? You know, we throw money around like, oh, it's only worth $5. It's only worth $10. It's no biggie. It's no biggie. If you invest $5,000 into something, how important is that to you? How important is it that you actually get your money's worth out of something, right? How much do you value something more and more based on how much you invest? Well, let me tell you something. That's true for everyone. But if you valued your business and you valued yourself more, you would invest more in you and your business. If you valued yourself so much that you had your own back and you had the self-confidence that you desire to have, and you did what it took to grow that self-confidence beyond where it is today, you would value you more. And if you valued you more, you would invest more and more in you. You would make you a priority. You would make what is important to you more important than what's important to other people. We're not doing anyone else any favors when we put ourselves and our dreams on the back burner. You're not. When you are coming into the world sad, disappointed, feeling like you haven't fulfilled your desires, you're not contributing to the world in the most amazing way that you can. When you're showing up with your brilliance, when you're showing up with your capacities greater than you've ever even imagined, you contribute energetically to people. You contribute as a leader to people. You contribute to showing people that they can do the same for themselves. And you bring your expertise and your gifts and your abilities to the world. But when you keep putting yourself on the back burner and you continue to make other people more valuable, you continue to make money more valuable, even in a way that you won't spend your money. You say, oh no, it's too important. I've got to hold on to it. I can't spend it, right? when you're still making money more valuable than you. I'm not talking about investing for your future. I'm talking about squeezing it from the energy of lack. You're still making money more valuable than you, because if that money invested in you, invested and where you will finally invest in yourself and you will invest in your business, that is going to be a contribution that's going to ripple out from you and from your business. It's going to ripple out to your team members. It's going to ripple out to your community. It's going to ripple out to your family. It's going to ripple out to your clients and your customers now and in the future. Every time you invest in who you are, you contribute to the world around you. Just today, I spoke to a friend I haven't spoken to. We're connected. We just don't see each other that much. I'm sure you have friends like that. And we used to hang around quite a bit, but we just haven't been for the last, I would say, 10 years. And she reached out to me last night and she said, could I have a conversation with you? I'm looking for some business advice. I said, sure. I had no idea what it was about. And we got on the phone and we had a wonderful conversation. And I very quickly gave her some encouraging advice. I connected her with someone I thought would be a really great person for her to connect with, to support her in this dream. And if I hadn't done the things that I've done in my business, if I hadn't invested in myself and grown my business in the way that I have and I continue to, I would have never crossed her mind. And therefore, I would have not been able to help her on her journey to fulfilling her dreams. You see, I may not receive a financial investment from people as I give them advice here or there or talk really quickly with people. I may or may not. It depends on the situation. But the fact of the matter is that I am investing. Now, that person is going to turn around, and when they're talking to someone who's having a business challenge, guess who she's going to point them to? She's going to point them to me. Whether she does or she doesn't, I know that I have contributed to her world. And I know that in doing so, that's going to have a ripple effect because she's going to contribute to other people with the dream that she has, and so on and so on and so on. But if I hadn't bothered to take the time to invest in myself and continue to grow me, I wouldn't have been there for her. Does that make sense? You are so important. Your dreams are important. It's time to put your money where your mouth is. It's time to invest in you and stop buying all these excuses. They're boring. Aren't you bored with yourself? Aren't you tired of hearing yourself say the same damn thing over and over again? You know what? Dust off that dream, dust off those desires, and make a new commitment every single day that no matter what, you're going to make your dreams happen. Anything is truly possible. We could talk for days and days about that, but next week, I want to tell you, come on over, let's connect again. Tomorrow's or next week's show is, are you driving your own bus? And I'll get into that deeply next week, of course. Again, if you are interested in connecting, you can email me. I would love to get a 5-star iTunes review from you. And most especially, I'd love for you to join our summit, Sparks of Hope, Shooting for Success. I cannot wait to introduce all of these amazing speakers to the world on that summit. It's one ticket, one price, gets you everything, including $27,000 worth of very, very valuable gifts that you are going to walk away with, every single one of you, when you say yes to being part of the summit. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for saying yes to connecting and listening to today's show. There is more than 500 episodes that you can go back and you can listen to, you can watch, along with thousands. We've got over 6,000 episodes here on Inspired Choices Network that you can search any subject. You'll come across an expert who can definitely support you with what they have contributed during their shows. I want you to take amazing care of yourself this week. Challenge yourself, get rid of those excuses. And remember that you can always make another choice. It is up to you. You create your dreams one choice at a time. So what are you willing to choose? Until next week, my friends, take really good care of yourself and keep choosing.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Inspired Choices Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, be willing to choose what you really desire. This is your life, making the choices that bring you all that you desire.